the front electric fan system will just come straight out. You can see the transmission cooling lines, that's just hanging there, and you can see the horn and the assembly. I just leave it hanging there too. If it does get in the way, I might move it aside, but for now I'm just interested in getting this fan assembly removed. If you've been following along so far, you can see the front of the car is pretty much stripped back. We've just gone through step by step and removed every part. From here on in, if you just wanted to clean the fins of the radiator and the intercooler and leave it at that, you probably could. You can see the air conditioning evaporator, you can see the intercooler at the bottom there, the transmission cooling lines and the oil cooling lines. It's all there. I mean, if you just wanted to spray this with water or use some sort of coil cleaner to clean the front, if you're having heating issues, you could do that. You can't access the front of the radiator because the air conditioning evaporator's there, but you can see we've come quite a way. So this is the back of that oil cooler, and like as you can see here, I've actually snapped off the securing points, and it makes it quicker for me anyway to remove it, because usually what you have to do is you have to insert it into the holes on the evaporator, and then it ties in from the backside. But the way that I've done it with this piece, literally with this piece of aluminium mounted up at the top, you don't have to mess around with all this plastic mess that's here. So maybe if you want to do this job yourself, you can save yourself a bit of time. These plastic things are a pretty bad idea anyway. So to remove this cooler from the front, you can see there's a bolt here, and there looks like a custom bracket which is made up here. I had to make this custom bracket because I broke it last time, the first time that I removed all this apart. So for me, this is how I remove it. But if you're doing the job, these here go through the core and poke out the other side, so you can't access them yet. So I'm just doing a quick video explaining why I'm up to this part. Your car won't be like this. Well, the top part won't be anyway. So I've had to make this up because I broke this off before. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove it now. So you can see I've just removed these two coolers, and they're basically just sitting there. Remember, these lines are filled with oil, so you don't want to crack the lines or anything like that. And these coils are quite delicate. You've probably noticed that already. All this aluminium is very soft, so you have to be very careful. But again, we're just back to the disassembly. The next point, I think, from memory, is the radiator and the condenser here. So let's get into it. What I'm showing here is the bottom bolt that holds the receiver dryer. You're going to need a Torx head, and it's the one bolt that holds it into place. And you might say, why am I talking about the receiver dryer for? Well, this is important because if you ever service the air conditioning system on your car, it's recommended that this is the one thing that you replace if you ever have to open up the air conditioning. They're about $100, somewhere between $80 to $100, and it's recommended that if you refresh or renew the gas in your air conditioning system, or if you do a flush in the air conditioning system, this is what you need to replace. So you can buy a brand new one of these from Benz. I think they quote about $100 or $110. You remove it by the bottom screw in here, and it basically just pops up and pulls out. This is just a clip fitting. There's no actual screw there. This will just clip out and come off. So that's a story about the receiver dryer. If you're not that much into air conditioning and HVAC, it might be worth reading up on it a little bit, but that's how you replace it and get to it. You see, just to get to this part, you have to basically strip off a lot of the front of the car. So it would be worth at this point, if you are doing any more air conditioning related jobs on this car, to replace this one part here. And I picked one up myself, so I'm going to go and remove this now, and we'll replace it after. So you can see the receiver dryer has been removed, and where it clips on is just up the top there. The two ports and plugs, and here's just a quick picture of it, the bottom of it where it plugs into there. So this will need to be replaced. Hold on to that screw though, you will probably need that to attach the new one. I'm including this video for you guys that just wanted to leave the air conditioning alone and not replace anything in the air conditioning, for example the receiver dryer, or you don't want to service the evaporator, anything. A lot of you people maybe just want to service the actual intercooler at the bottom of the car. If you want to do that, you don't have to remove the radiator fan or anything in the engine bay. So I'll just quickly talk through what you do have to remove. Over on this side again, there's the one orange bolt here on this side, which is pretty easy to get to. That's all you have to remove on this side. And then along in this side, it's a tight fit. There's probably just one thing I should have mentioned. The air conditioning isn't fully functional on my car. It's been degassed, and even the air conditioning lines have been removed. So if you're looking down on the radiator, on the passenger side, here's where the air conditioning lines are. And before you remove the radiator, you're going to have to either separate the radiator and the evaporator from one another, because they come out in one piece. So if you've got to this point with the radiator, you'll be surprised to know that it's not even bolted in place. It's just held in with these plastic clips, one on each side. And at the bottom, it literally hinges into place. It is still attached to the air conditioning evaporator, which is here, but I'll just show you how easy it literally comes out. So you literally depress the tabs and it falls backwards. The reason that you remove the fan and everything else in the engine bay first is so you can make this step happen. I mean, you can leave all the pipe work in there, you can leave the overflow in there and all the plumbing, but the radiator's not going to come out this easy, and you're probably going to damage it. So what I like to do is just take everything out and just leave it at this step. Okay, so quickly I've put the radiator and the evaporator back in the car, because they're two things that are as one piece. So we need to separate the two, but I need to treat it as if the air conditioning system is charged, because it's just not that easy. If your air conditioning system is charged, you can't move it out that easily. I made it sort of look too easy. So let's go through it together. The first thing you have to do is locate this bolt, which is up in here, and remove it. It's just one bolt. So I'm assuming now that the air conditioning is connected on your car, and we'll try to talk our way through it. So we're going to have to release the radiator tabs at the top. There should be two. And the radiator will just sit in the housing at the bottom. If you've removed everything in the engine bay, the radiator will just come forward like this. And it should just sit comfortably like that. Now the next step is to remove this evaporator from the radiator. You can see there's two things here. There's 4 tabs that need to be released, and then it should come apart. So we'll go down in here. There's one, there's another one up here. If we move across, there's another tab here, and then there's another one up here. So I just have to assume now that there's gas in the system. And obviously the dryer is attached in here too. Okay, so to remove the evaporator from the radiator, you can see there are 2 pieces. All there is, it's easier than what you'd think. There's just tabs here that have to be pressed in, and then the evaporator comes straight up. So I need extra hands to do this job, but if you see it there, you can just press in with a flat screwdriver and it releases it from the aluminium. It's the same on this side. There's just a tab here that you just have to press in. And then after you've pressed it in, the evaporator should literally slot upwards. So once the evaporator is released from the tabs on the side of the radiator, you can see the tabs on the top. You can literally separate out the evaporator, which is just sitting here. We'll go back to the car. Now we can just literally pull the radiator out again.